Chapter 1. The Intricacies of Goals and Resolutions. To many, making resolutions is a yearly ritual. It requires you to identify the areas of your life that need changes and affect them. As simple as that, right? The only problem is that we often find ourselves back at our elements, doing those things we swore we would give up. When we fail, our goals slowly become a distant reality. When there is no hope and resilience to fuel these goals, they fade into oblivion, and in their place is a burgeoning cynicism that poisons our capacity to believe. As such, you must discover the right strategy to adopt in the face of failure, to help you resist the realm of the ordinary so that you can have the best year ever. While this may seem like an impossible task, the author advises that you see beyond your self-destructive tendencies and realize that having a fulfilling year is very much possible. All you need to do is to make one intentional decision and watch your life take shape. Your life doesn't revolve around a single aspect of your life. Your work doesn't wholly define you, so also your family and relationships do not connote the entirety of your life. Instead, your life is multifaceted. According to Michael Hyatt, 10 major domains determine who we are: spiritual, intellectual, marital, parental, physical, emotional, social, vocational, avocational, financial. All these domains matter as they relate to and affect each other. More so, it would help if you understood that it is possible to improve every one of them. By doing so, you will unlock the door to true happiness, confidence, and fulfillment. As such, personal growth is one of the core requirements for those interested in experiencing their best year ever. This summary will help you understand why your reality is highly dependent on what you believe and how you can change both. As a result, you'll set great goals that will help you move toward becoming your best possible self. Chapter 2. Beliefs are the bedrocks of our reality. You must have heard the saying, "As a man thinketh, so he is." These words resonate with everyone, as we have come to view the world, other people, and ourselves a certain way, which defines our personality. But beliefs have a way of molding our destiny. In essence, our life choices unconsciously align with beliefs, and the chances of having a great year depend on whether we are wired to dwell on the positives or obsessed about the negatives. People who always fixate on limitations or incessantly analyze their chances of success do not take risks. They tend to believe that there are a lot of factors that could stifle their success, so it is better to play safe. More so, they ignore opportunities because they believe that they do not have the right skill sets. They give up on relationships because they believe the notion that they do not deserve love. They are scared of starting their own business because the economy is harsh. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory, there is no survival. Winston S. Churchill. What separates these people from the overarching bunch is that they fail to imagine a reality that does not conform to myths and artificial laws or restrictions. Instead of focusing on their capacity to find success in the most unpromising of places, their subconscious tells them they are incapable of maneuvering limitations. In other words, they develop a thinking habit that fixates on the scarcity of possibilities. The fake lifestyles that people often post on social media could plant the seed of self-doubt and envy. In a similar vein, people who have experienced past failures tend to make their setbacks an invisible wall of pessimistic beliefs that stops them from trying new things outside their comfort zone. Also, conventional media outlets and social media can change how you view the world and the people around you. The negativity-laden news and the fake posts could make you feel depressed, anxious, and powerless. Regardless of how you might have adopted a limited way of thinking, you can choose to remold your thoughts and see through the imaginary obstacles that have subjected you to ordinary existence. Chapter 3. To change your life, you must work toward upgrading your beliefs. Now that you know how critical your belief system is to your success, you need to start reconfiguring it. First, you must avoid the trappings that come with restricted beliefs. Remember that limiting thoughts are always short-sighted visualizations of the present. Once you grasp this notion, you will start to embrace the liberating truth that each obstacle asks of you. Where you had earlier faced rejection and opposition, you will begin to see that limitations drive a compelling success story. Also, you should never base your failure or your inability to take chances on the unavailability of resources. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. Abraham Lincoln. For one, limited resources have never served as a deterrent to people who have gone to transcend the norms. They see the inaccessibility of resources as a motivator to try even harder. As such, one could argue that the perceived lack of resources spurs humans to become creative. Note that this assertion is not disputing the importance of resources to your quest. Do not let perceived resource deficiency stop you from pursuing great opportunities that come your way. The same is true for the common belief that we fail because of factors that are beyond our control. Your apparent perception that you are powerless could cripple your capacity to be successful. Instead, it is advisable to work on your choices, remodel your belief system, and exert dominance over those things you can control. Here, Michael Hyatt highlights a viable procedural strategy, which you can use to revise your beliefs. First, identify those limiting beliefs and make sure you record them. Once you've recorded them, the next step is to review the beliefs and their impacts on your life. Fourth, reframe or reject them. Then start revising these beliefs to fit a more affirmative and empowering model. For instance, if you had rooted your actions in a limiting belief that suggests you are too old to start developing and learning, you could revise it into a more optimistic view that says your wealth of experience will help you to find creative ways to make learning easy. Lastly, you should make sure that you continue speaking and thinking about this revised belief until it becomes who you are. Chapter 4. The past has an impact on your future. When it comes to achieving your goal, redialing your beliefs is not the only thing you can explore. You can also learn to use your experience as an anchor for the reality you are chasing. Some have had their hopes dashed and their dreams crushed. And if we don't have the suitable mechanism to channel these heart-wrenching experiences to a rewarding future, then our chances of being successful are very slim. According to Michael Hyatt, you can do this by adopting a backward-thinking way of analyzing events. This concept entails that you become aware of those things that might have led you to dump your resolutions last year, or that could have stopped you from achieving your goals. Furthermore, learn from these undermining actions and decisions so they do not feature in your current attempt to chase your dreams. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Soren Kierkegaard. A more potent way of going about this requires that you clearly state or write down your projected goals for the last year. It would help if you outlined even the most irrelevant goals or resolutions, since your life consists of several domains that work together to establish who you are. Next, you should acknowledge all the factors that could have contributed to your success or failure and learn from them. Lastly, adjust the behavior and beliefs that stalled your personal growth. Adopting this self-examining technique would help you get a broader picture of where you were, where you are standing now, and the place you want to be. Amid this soul-searching exercise, you will inevitably feel regret. However, as noted earlier, every regret is an ideal road sign to help us recognize mistakes that grounded our past progress. While you are exploring your regrets, do not sideline your gratitude. Gratitude will help you sustain an optimistic and reinvigorated frame of mind that could propel you to develop more zeal for your current resolutions. Contrary to popular belief that gratitude could cripple people's thirst for more, it reminds people of how much they've got going for them, eradicating any ounce of doubt that they deserve more blessing. Chapter 5. Lay the building bricks for a fantastic future by setting reasonable goals. You will have a better chance of reaching your goals if you set them in a clever way. The most effective way to achieve this is to note down your goals and work through them carefully. A study revealed that simply writing down goals could boost the chances of success by a massive 42%. Writing down your goals and regularly checking in on them helps you to see where you are going and look for potential problems that may come your way. It will also help to motivate you and identify opportunities. Then, you will be better placed to avoid any distractions that could move you away from your intended path. You must pick attainable goals to begin with, by adopting a goal formulation framework to serve as a guide. This framework is called Smarter Goals. Specific. The viability of your goals depends on how clear they are. Measurable. Before choosing your goals, you should ascertain that they are measurable, that there's a way you can assess your progress. Actionable. While indicating the specifics of your goals, you should outline the actions and tasks they entail. Risky. People who play it safe would most likely remain in mediocrity. Although it is good to adopt realistic goals, taking risks would prevent you from setting the bar too low. Time-keyed. The chances of achieving a goal with no apparent deadline are bleak. While choosing your goals, you should attach deadlines, time triggers, or frequencies that would keep you on your toes. Exciting. You cannot resist resolutions and goals if you do not find them interesting. Relevant. Your goals must correlate with your lifestyle and current circumstances. Chapter 6. You can counter the pressure to quit with intrinsic and external motivation. Irrespective of how well you picked and timed your goals, it is inevitable that you will find yourself contemplating an exit plan midway. The tendency to back out is normal. Even those who have made history by doing the inexplicable have suffered failure, obstacles, and reversals at one time or another. What made them different was the way they rose to the occasion. They found a way to find success against all odds. First, they reframed their limitations and stuck to the plan, even when the process did not exude perfection. Also, they developed a sense of agency to remind them that they need to put in the work before achieving success. Success requires an intentional attempt to chase their goals. Lastly, they always had their whys at the back of their mind. In other words, they taught themselves to remember why they started in the first place. Here, Michael Hyatt emphasizes the importance of equipping yourself with the most compelling of whys as your source of motivation. As such, when you face a solid reason to quit, you should counter it with one or two reasons that would remind you of the emotional and intellectual arguments backing your goal. External or intrinsic sources could serve as your motivation. Your society, religion, and family fall under the external motivation category. In contrast, ambition, hope, and values fit nicely into the intrinsic category. Design your motivation in a way that finds a balance between these two variations of influences to make it effective. Unlike the intrinsically influenced motivations that emanate from external sources alone are not long-lasting. While this is a given, you should master your motivations by visualizing your end reward whenever you are stuck with self-doubt. Moreover, this is why the previous chapter advises that you must choose goals that you can measure. By doing so, you can use your incremental progress as a reminder that you have come a long way, and that alone could motivate you to fight the urge to quit. More importantly, it is okay to recruit help by choosing friends who would acknowledge your quest, motivate you, and call you to order when you seem to lose your way. Chapter 7. Do not forget to walk the talk. It is a common belief that the most critical first step to success is starting. Although this is true, the author pinpointed that starting is not the ideal first requirement for success. Instead, it is beginning the most manageable tasks that would most likely propel you to finish. The small wins you get from the simplest tasks on your list will keep you going when things get tough. In essence, completing one or two actions could motivate you to take on more gut-wrenching stages of your goal-chasing process. Small wins, as they say, accumulate into significant victories. Also, it would help if you didn't mask procrastination as an obsession for developing the perfect plan. The more you spend in the planning phase, the farther you are from achieving your goals. However, when planning, you could incorporate what Michael Hyatt calls activation trigger as a form of contingency plan, which could stifle scenarios that could spur you to abandon your goals. For example, you could implement an automated system that dims the light in your room when it's bedtime. This activation trigger will make sleeping early a more feasible resolution. Here, Michael Hyatt lists 4 phases that could help you choose the right triggers. Take a time out to brainstorm the appropriate catalyst for different scenarios. Tweak these triggers to conform to the uniqueness of your style or goal requirements. You should anticipate obstacles that could undermine your triggers and determine responses to help you sidestep them. Experiment with various triggers until you find the one that works for you. To make this approach more viable, you should constantly review your goals, apparent progress, motivations, and failures. You should do this daily, weekly, and quarterly. Did you know? A recent study by renowned author and Harvard Business School professor Teresa Amabile found that small wins make bigger goals much easier to achieve because they help boost motivation and self-confidence. Conclusion: it is possible to falter in your quest to achieve your New Year's resolution and still have a fulfilling year. The trick is knowing what to do when you fail and incorporating the right strategies to ink your goals into your subconscious and make them a habit. Many people have the assumption that they do not have what it takes to succeed. Eventually, that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that hampers their efforts to achieve any reasonable goal in life. To give yourself an advantage in life, you must rid yourself of self-limiting beliefs and develop the right mindset. Be sure to think positively and avoid seeing yourself as someone who doesn't know the right people or have the proper education and skill set to succeed. Apart from having the right mindset, fulfillment is also dependent on how well you learn from past mistakes. When trying to achieve a previously attempted goal, take the time to examine what went wrong the last time and why. Congratulate yourself on the things that went right, and then go ahead and analyze the differences between your expectations and the results. Acknowledge all the factors that might have contributed to your failure to achieve the goal and learn from them. Finally, remember that although it's essential to set exciting goals, you must be careful not to set your expectations so high that they become unrealistic. People often set themselves up for failure by trying to achieve goals that even the world's greatest genius couldn't attain. The key to positioning yourself for accomplishment is to strive for a target within your reach, but one that also requires a reasonable amount of effort to hit. Try this. Choose goals that excite you, ones that resonate with your lifestyle. Be sure to choose deadlines that challenge you but that are still within reach. Pick a goal that helps you move closer towards the ultimate aim you have for your life. Small milestones will help you get there.